Welcome to From Poundland to Paradise, your monthly guide to all things Walsall FC. It's basically that Walsall rewind thing that the club does, but we did it first. I'm Craig, he's Joe. All aboard the Promotion Express. Here's to October 2024, baby. Don't you want my love? So, another amazing month, at least by my interpretation. And there's definitely no way this is a fluke anymore because we've been going that long. Joe, what's your overall thoughts on the month of October?
Yeah. I mean, it was slightly up and down, but overall good, obviously. We'll get into it more in depth, but yeah, I'm more or less happy with it, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've been playing so well and we've had such a good season that obviously expectations have raised. So there is definitely a feeling among a lot of fans that, like you said, up and down. And
my expectations are higher.
That's it, the expectations are higher. But I'm trying to keep myself grounded and I'm thinking overall, this was a very decent month. Yeah. It didn't start that well because on the 1st of October, the very first, we played at home to Fleetwood. I think it was a Tuesday night, wasn't it?
That was Saturday. That was a Saturday.
Are you sure? Because it was dark.
I'm sure it was Saturday.
Remember, I had to leave halfway through for the dog vet emergency. I'm sure it was nighttime.
Because
we had an emergency vet.
Right.
Yeah, it was definitely.
No,
it
felt
Tuesday.
like a Saturday because we hadn't been in a while at home, I think. But
exactly, but
my bad.
Sadly, this is why I'll ask you to come in on this. So we lost 6-2, which is mental. But we were 2-1 up when I left. I got a call just after half time. We were 2-1 up. I think Harry Williams might have scored just after half time. And then, so it's 2-1. Everything's going well. Prior to that, we had been letting them create a lot of chances, and there was a lot of murmurings around by us, including from like you and my bro, for example, who were like worried about, this ain't going well. And I was going, don't worry, you know what I mean? It's all going to be fine. And then when we were 2-1 up, I was going like, see, told you, we're just too class, nothing to worry about. And then I get a call, problem with my dog. Luckily, the dog's fine now, don't worry, listeners. But then I had to jump out, drive home. We had to go to an emergency vet, whole thing. And then, by the time I get to the vet, I have a look at the score, and it was 5-2 when I looked. And then in the end, it was 6-2. Joe, what happened?
I know. I don't even. I literally cannot tell you. It's so weird. Like you say, we were giving them a lot of the ball, and that's fine. That's kind of what we do. We don't really go with the possession-based thing. We go with just whenever we've got it, we're gonna just use it, and it's pretty effective. But yeah, this time I guess things weren't gluing for us up top. Maybe, I mean, we'd scored twice, so you would think that it should have been a kind of just chill now, maybe push for one more just to seal it. But yeah, just kind of, it didn't even fall apart. It's not like we were playing really bad or anything. It was weird. It's like they just really stepped it up. I don't know. And I think they're definitely the best squad I've seen us play in a while, to be fair.
Well, that's it. In hindsight, when the dust settled,
but
they are definitely one of the best attacking teams we've played. And I think they are actually, they will do okay. I think their results and their league position don't exactly do them justice.
That's it. We're still very
same
early.
for Carlisle, to be fair. I want to touch on later.
Of course.
But obviously, because even when we were winning 2-1, even the stuff I saw, which was up to about 50 minutes, even then I was like, even though I was joking that it'll all be fine, I was thinking they were having the better of the play, to be fair. So overall, it weren't like a robbery that they ended up getting the result they got.
It was like we were winning, but it was still really touch and go. It felt weird. Obviously we were happy that we were winning, but it was like, this doesn't feel right. And obviously it wasn't right because, it wasn't our day. 6-2 is mad though. That's a strange one, you know what I mean? If they came back 3-2, you'd be like, it was tough. But there you go. But 6-2, that sounds like we got absolutely battered and we're going to go on a mad, bad run, you know what I mean? But it's not really because, it's been an all right month. So
well, that's the thing. If that was going to be the turning point for the worse, then if there was going to be a turning point for the worse, that would have been it. And it ain't. I mean, I think it's proven to be an anomaly because after that, we went away to Chesterfield on the 5th and we drew 2-2. Nathan Lowe at the double and a solid away point against a team who are very capable. And I think really you've got to be happy with that. And if I remember correctly, we either came back twice or we were 2-0 down and then came back to 2-2.
We didn't go, did we? So it's hard.
But we showed resilience. So at the very least, we took the lead twice. It was we basically were well in that game and not overawed by a team who I think will definitely be in and around it with us in the playoff push.
In the top 7,
automatic promotion.
So. Yeah, 100%.
And that's a good response, really, after that 6-2 against Fleetwood. I mean, a lot of lesser teams would have been devastated and they could well have gone and got on the end of a spanking there.
That's it, that's it. They could have lost morale, but I just don't think that's somewhat different about this team, that just the morale seems to be just endless, to be honest. It's great, you just you can't knock them, really.
You can't. That ain't this team.
Yeah.
Then we had the international break, which everyone loves, obviously, and because we are unfortunate to have such quality that unfortunately we have so many international legends who have to go away, it means we had to sit on the sidelines for a bit. So then we come back 2 weeks later on the 19th away at Grimsby, and it's just straight back to business as usual. 4-1 win. We had goals from Matt, Lowe, DJ and Jamie Gillis. And in particular, I mean, I think honestly they were all brilliant goals. I mean, a lot of people will talk about the Gillis one, which we need to touch on in a second, obviously, because it was outrageous. But the goal for DJ late on, when Barrett again skinning his man down the right as he always does to the byline, clipping it back, and it's that finish that Jamil Matt's done several times this season as well, where you're right there at the front post, little flick or little tap in, and DJ obviously he's always gonna capitalize on a chance like that.
100%.
But the Jamie Gillis one, oh my god! I think their guy picks it up at right back, tries to pass
square
it in field,
switch. He tries to switch it and then it falls short, and
straight
he picks
into
it
the
up
middle of the pitch, about 25 yards out.
Yeah, on his chest, one touch, and then just straight on his foot, and it's just top left corner
into the top left with his right foot.
Oh man, wow! I would have loved to have been there, man.
That was an outrageous goal. Really,
that was incredible. But like you say, all the goals were great goals as well. And want to touch on the DJ. We saw when everyone fell in love with him, he was with Liam Bennett, which we've spoke a lot about. Obviously, he was a big part of. They
had a great connection in there from right wing back to striker,
providing DJ with these things, and Barrett when. Yeah, it's as good or better, you know what I mean? So we're going to see a lot of that, hopefully.
It does seem like as well that is where he likes to get his stuff, because even when the few times that DJ's been coming off the bench even there, which I'm happy with the amount he's playing, is brilliant for me. When he comes on, he makes an impact. He either scores or he nearly scores.
I think it's ideal, sure. Yeah,
and with Barrett, he's got basically a new Bennett. And when Adoma plays there as well, to be fair, we've seen Adoma do that a couple of times, put in an unbelievable ball from the halfway line. DJ's on the end of it, or he's nearly on the end of it. So, I mean, we're bringing the best out in DJ when we use him. He's full of energy, he's full of beans. But yeah, that Gillis goal.
God, insane.
One for the ages.
Insane. Well, so what do we have after that?
Well, then after that, we went on the 22nd on again the Tuesday, Carlisle at home. So we were at both home games. I managed to see the entirety of this one. Thank God, no issues on my end. 3-1 win, another routine win. Goals for Jamil, for Lowe, and again for Jamie Gillis. It was a comfortable win. But and maybe not the goal as flashy goals as in the previous game, but a great win. But I would say as well, it might look routine, and Carlisle, if you look at their league position, you are thinking easy win, and that's how it turned out. But honestly, they are not bad. Like they're definitely one of them teams who kind of like Fleetwood, but even to a greater extent. I mean, you look at where they are in the table, and you think they must be terrible. I think they do capitulate a bit defensively if you can get an upper hand on them. But going forward, like they pass the ball beautifully. They've got great movement. That they've got a great philosophy. If they can sort of tighten things up, I really can't see them going down. I thought they were one of the best teams who played this season for sure.
Yeah, definitely one of, and it's mad to see. But again, that just goes back to the fact that we are really early on in the season, and the table's all about points, and it doesn't really reflect like overall how you're going to do and overall form and stuff like that. So obviously they lost to us, but I feel like they're gonna survive definitely after that.
Yeah,
putting in against us, we were like first and second place, third place. It's they
played well. They did themselves proud, and they're underperforming their numbers. Basically, they create chances. I mean, they had us in danger plenty of times.
Yeah,
their build-up plays nice. Like I said, they got a lot of good technical footballers. They can pass the ball, and I think that was a really solid win. A lot better than it looks. We'll play a lot worse teams this season who are a lot higher up the up the table
and struggle, and
it'll be seen as a much better win. But I thought that was a real banana skin, having watched the game. And then we ended the month on Saturday past away at Accrington 0-0 draw. It's a bit of a sort of one of them kind of games where. For me personally, I'm not getting too carried away with it all. You're taking a away point against anyone in this league. If you win your home games, to steal a phrase from Ross, who we just spoke to on Sadler's Zone before we started this recording, if you win your home games and you pick up draws away from home, you're going to be in the mix. And we picked up an away draw. There are a couple of decent chances for both teams.
Yeah, watching the highlights.
A few really good saves from both keepers, you would say, actually.
Yeah, brilliant saves.
That's why it was 0-0. But overall, they frustrated us. Ball was in the air a lot. They love a good long throw. They look like us a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
they look stodgy, lower mid-table. Just trying to do their thing. They'll probably be happier with a point than we will. But at the end of the day, it's no emergency.
And like you were saying with Ross, reflecting on that game, it's like a couple of years ago. It would have been just like that game, and then they would have nicked it off us and ended up winning or something like that in extra time. But this time, I think we were looking slightly more. I didn't see the full thing, but we were looking slightly more like we had the upper hand, and we could have nicked it off them in the dying minutes. And that's the divide that we're looking at. Really,
that's it.
It is kind of minor still in this league. Then it is, teams, you still need to put in a shift against every team. Like we said,
you got to be professional.
So, but at the same time, we're definitely looking like one of these promotion sides that they nick it, they end up winning, they always get a point or something, I mean, 6-2 at home doesn't look good, and all the other fans, especially Port Vale fans, love reminding us of that. But it's on the internet, Facebook and all that.
But it's proven to be an anomaly, that Fleetwood game. We'll come on to how it's destroyed some of our stats, sadly.
Yeah.
We're still killing it in the attacking stats, like all the neutral Twitter accounts and podcasts and stuff, when they post their stats and everything, we're up there for, XG and
in the whole
EFL and everything for the whole EFL, especially League Two. But we were as well in the defensive stats. But then that's the thing, we basically are in reality. We had one daft game against Fleetwood, but it does balls up all of our defensive stats. But before we finish on the Accrington game, like you said, I think that's the thing about it, that a 0-0 away at Accrington, it shows how far we've come in two ways. Because one way is that they have something to be afraid of. They're sitting back, they're stodging it up, trying to hang on, and successfully getting themselves a 0-0. They never would have done that in the last few years gone past. No team would have had anything to be afraid of.
They would have set up completely different against
100%.
us.
Even a defensive team would be thinking, let's come out of our shell. This is 3 points here because
we're at home. Exactly.
But we have changed so much.
4-0 or something, was it last year?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? There's no way that we can't score. I don't think we've lost or even drew. Well, this is the only. I think this is the only 0-0 draw.
One of the only games I can think of where we ate score.
No, it is. It literally is. Wait a minute. Thinking about it, no, it is.
Honestly.
It is. We might have had a draw in the cup, like a 0-0 against Leicester.
Yeah, it's honestly.
But literally, we haven't drew 0-0. So we score. We're a scoring machine, basically.
Absolutely.
And, our defensive record is good. The blip was Fleetwood, and in general, we do like to concede one or two here and there. But we tighten that up, and
that's the thing. And we were like that
guaranteed.
last season, but we just weren't scoring. Now we're scoring so many.
Yeah.
We were scoring a decent amount last season, but now we're scoring so many.
That's it.
And that is why Accrington. That's the reason for Accrington's approach. That's the reason they approach the game the way they are. It should be taken as a compliment.
Definitely.
And the fact that the fans are a bit like, away point and a clean sheet, it ain't that good, is it? That shows how far we've come. I mean, it don't 100%. Matter what team it is, 24th in the league, if we're getting an away point and a clean sheet in all of the last 5 seasons, you're thinking,
good business,
that's decent.
Basically. Yeah, it's good business.
Shows how far we've come. But anyway, to sum up then, we had 5 games, all of them in League Two. International break sort of hindered us a little bit.
Yeah.
We had 2 home games and 3 away games. We picked up 8 points for a possible 15. When you say it like that, it don't sound as good, but I think it's a decent return.
It's above mid, isn't it? Like 7.5. So yeah, it's above
and
mid.
3 of them were away games.
Yeah,
One of them against Chesterfield, who are a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
And the home game against Carlisle, who proved, I think, to be a very good team. So
1.5.
basically, I think we'll take that. We're still well in the mix at the top of the table. 11 goals scored, which is more than a 2 a game average, which for us is crazy. I mean, I don't know what our average used to be, but it must be like 0.5.
Yeah, that's mad.
There were definitely long periods where if we scored once every 2 games.
No, two's is great, yeah. And I think it was like just over 1, mate, basically, in the last couple of seasons.
We scored 2 goals a game on average, which is not bad.
Yeah.
And it means that you're probably going to win more games than you lose, which our season is proving to be the case.
That's it.
But we conceded 10 goals. See, we would have only conceded 4 if it weren't for that Fleetwood game.
Yeah.
So the Fleetwood game basically,
4 and 10 looks so different.
Makes our defensive stats. I mean, we come into this month on the back of a 4-game clean sheet run as well. So you're like, oh God, 4 clean sheets in a row in all comps.
Yeah.
And then you go and lose 6 goals in 1 game. So that was an anomaly. Nothing really to be worried about, but just a bit annoying. Like, it's one of them, if I was playing us on FM or FIFA, I'd be like, oh, it's so annoying because like it makes my stats look so much shitter than they actually are.
Oh man.
But anyway, we are the
do?
bad boys. Let's talk about some overall stuff then. This is not a fluke.
Definitely.
Because we're so far gone now in the season. In all comps, we must have played 20 or more than 20 games.
Up to 20, I think. Isn't it 13 run in the league?
And then you got a few in the Thingy Cup, a couple in the Carabao, close to 20 games.
Basically 20.
And not only are we getting the results, but more importantly, the play itself is outstanding.
Oh, the play, yeah, it's so exciting.
Would you agree with me that this is not a fluke anymore?
This is what I mean, yeah, I totally agree, because it's just like, it's so different from years gone by, because not only is, even when we lose and stuff like that, it's an exciting game. Everything's just exciting. Even whatever happens, if we're losing, if we're winning, it's just exciting. You know what I mean? And that's all you can really ask for, to be entertained. So it's just sick, man. I do actually. Exactly, man. It's epic, bro. It's actually epic.
We are entertained.
It's beautiful, man. I'm so glad. Like, it's I feel like, I don't know. We started watching Walsall again regularly a couple of years ago or something.
Yeah.
And I feel like that, like, it was a really good time to start again. I don't know, man.
Well, that's the thing. Initially, it seemed like a terrible time too, because it was so depressive for the first few years.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
now
the very
it's
start.
like, we're.
But I feel like it's like been It was incremental since we started.
The Joss Ladderby days are over, my friend.
The signings are unbelievable.
The Osadebe days are well behind us, mate. But it's not just about the ability as well, in terms of the technical ability of the players, how well coached they are by Sadler, but the character as well, to bounce back from that Fleetwood defeat and then pick up 8 points from a possible 12, including 3 out of 4 games being away from home. You're playing, in some cases, I think, very decent teams, Chesterfield in particular, and you're coming away. That shows character. We could have easily gone on a terrible slump there. After that Fleetwood game, you are thinking, oh, God, is this when it all
away
comes?
to a good team? Yeah,
is this when the mid-table slide begins and eventually we'll be 13th? But it didn't happen because they've shown good character. And I think at this point, I don't think it can happen.
No.
I think it's not a fluke. And I don't see it going to shit for me.
I think last month we were kind of talking along the same lines, and we have been. Obviously, we do, because that's what we're doing every month. But
that's what we do.
It's like now we're kind of thinking, this is exactly. It can't unravel unless we kept saying unless there's some monstrous like disaster. But I think even if loads of people started getting injured, we've got people coming in.
Massive injury crisis.
We've got people coming in.
We've got
anyway.
such great depth. I mean, we'd have to lose like 10 players.
We'd have to have a catastrophe, basically, which I don't think is going to happen in reality. So I put my money on. Yep.
Speaking of the many good players we got, I only want to touch on a couple, one positively and one negative. Overall, everyone in the team has been doing brilliant, really, in the whole squad. I don't really have too many complaints about anyone. Obviously, nothing's perfect. You can always improve.
Yeah.
Jamie Jellis is getting better and better. That's the first thing I want to say.
100%.
I mean, Jesus, to come from Tamworth, it's just outrageous, isn't it?
Unbelievable. Like,
do you have enough words left to describe it?
That's what I mean. I just feel like we just talked about it so much in last podcast, and Yeah, it's just everyone else can see it, man. I mean, what can you say? What can you say? It's just unbelievable, the talent and the recruitment and just everything about it. It just gets better. Obviously, we saw that this month. He never stops running, but the quality, he doesn't do anything wrong. Like, how is he? He's like a football,
how was he
he's like
playing
a young
non-league
football robot,
last year?
man? Yeah, it's just
How is that possible?
But I think it's just that
He's above this level that we're in.
maybe he was a slow starter, and there was just something that that our recruitment saw in him and just went, yeah, we need to pounce on him. And it could have, you know what I mean? This could be a couple of years ago when we signed a couple non-leaguers that we've never heard of again, that, you know, maybe played a couple of cup games and then they were just back up and never got used and then went on. You know what I mean? That could be the same.
Never worked
but this year it's just working for us. Maybe there is a bit of luck in it.
He's obviously must have shown some development in training, because he got a couple of chances here and there in the back end of last season. And even then we saw some bright sparks and we were like, oh, we'd like to see a bit more of him. But now he's getting the chances. I mean, he's basically a regular starter.
Unbelievable.
I mean, the Sadler likes to keep a solid 11 anyway most of the time. You know what I mean? We can pretty much see now what his 11 is. Obviously, he's got some brilliant options off the bench and he can rotate a bit here and there. But Jellis is definitely one of the first names on the team sheet right now. Like you said, he's got everything. He can shoot, he can pass, he can run, he's tenacious, energy.
Man,
I mean, some of the closing down, he does. Sometimes you find he's everywhere, don't you? You go, hang on, why is he over there now? That's mad. Now he's like in the left corner flag now, and all of a sudden, and then he's like pressing there right back, and you're just like, what's going on? Why are you there? It's just so weird.
It's incredible.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, he's literally everywhere, and that's what Sadler keeps going on about, which I've got confidence in and I can see, you know what I mean? Because some people say, or some people could say that, you know, he's waffling about this and that, but nah, the way the way they play for the shirt, you know what I mean? That's a bit of a cliche, but they really do, you know what I mean? They're just endless energy.
Brilliant, and that's integral in the team. They're a great unit.
Togetherness, another kind of like buzzword, but
it's true.
It's fully true, yeah, and we're seeing it, man.
You see it from the squad as well, like you said, the lads who come on. There's no sort of shoulders down or anything, heads down. I mean, you had that a bit from DJ before. DJ's buying in now, you can tell. God, he's definitely buying in.
That's all it was.
He's been humbled maybe behind the scenes. It's hard to say. We'll never really know the whole story, but it smacks of someone who was a bit like, oh, I'm not playing every week, that's a bit mad. And now you kind of feel like he's like, I get it, like, you know what I mean? I'm very effective off the bench. I'm not probably good enough actually to be I don't think he's a better option than Lowe for sure. No way. And you need Matt as the big man, I think, next to him, the hold-up guy.
That's it.
So it's brilliant indeed, but to take anything away from DJ, he's doing brilliant when he comes off the bench. So even the lads who are coming on, they're doing brilliant. When Adoma comes on, he does great. When Earring comes on, he does great. So we got the only negative I wanted to bring up, and it's not really a negative because even he's done brilliantly, and he had a great game against Accrington to get us that clean sheet. But it's Tommy Simpkin. I wonder if there are a few shaky moments here and there, some of which have been punished and some of which ain't. Like there was that one, the goal we conceded against Grimsby, was it? Which, to be fair to him, I actually do think that was a foul, and I'm not just being a Walsall fan.
Everyone says that.
I think it was a foul, but at the same time, you're dicking around there, you get caught out. The other week when we were at home against Carlisle, there were a couple of hairy moments where
God, yeah, same kind of thing.
He nearly got caught out.
Closed down.
At the same time, if Sadler's asking you to play out from the back, it's that thing that top managers say, and that, you know, you eat the cost. Sometimes it's going to happen, and overall for what you get as a benefit is worth it. But what I'm saying is, whenever we see Hornby in the cup competitions, I think he's accomplished. He does really well. He's a much better. I think he's a better, definitely penalty saver, and maybe even shot stopper overall.
100% penalty saver, but I don't think we've seen enough of him to say the shot. But I feel
bad saying it because Simpkin's been great. I'm clutching at straws to find something that's
that's what I mean, and we've got to clutch at straws just to be like, you know what I mean, non-biased type thing. But I think it's hard really with Sam. We haven't seen enough of him in regular games.
Could he get a couple more chances, is what I'm saying. Not that we need to chuck Simo out, and because I like that approach of
because he's young,
tagging the keepers in and out here and there, you know.
I think you said this, I can't remember what game it was, but we were sitting there and it was going well, but we were trying to critique something. It could have been the last game. It's probably you were saying that maybe Stoke have said he's got to play, you know, 40 games or something. He's got to play most of the season basically, and that's on his conditions as in the loan. You know what I mean? Which is fine because he's young and he needs the games. So
And he is doing well,
and he's doing well, you
Very,
know what I
very
mean?
well.
I think, I was saying to you when we were watching the Accrington highlights again, I feel like his open play is incredible, so you can't fault that. And penalties are just a minor part of the league, and we're focusing on the league, so let's focus on that. But yeah, I feel like at worst, I'm just happy if anything happens to Simkin. You know, you're not feeling like, oh, who's this guy? And
what an option.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just a great option. So
I mean, the lad's
cannot
already
complain.
got a song, you know what I mean? That's how good that's how brilliant he's been.
Our second keeper has a song already.
Yeah, exactly. That's how good he's been in the Cups.
I've always wanted.
I hope he plays against Bolton, by the way.
He
really should. But you got to be playing him.
Yeah.
If you're not going to play him ever in the
I
league,
guess so.
even though Simo has had a couple of moments here and there where you thought could do, he's got to be playing every cup game then. Or if I'm him, I'm pissed.
No,
I mean,
you're right. Actually,
especially because, like we said, I'm not being funny. At penalties, he's definitely better.
Yeah,
there was that
100%.
situation. Was it against Leicester when he started Simkin, which I thought was a mistake because Hornby had earned the right, I think, to play in that cup game.
Yeah.
After all the brilliance he'd done
And
in the
then
cups,
Simkin,
and then we thought, okay, well maybe even later on he'll bring Hornby on for the penalties. Didn't, and then we have Simkin could have saved at least two of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, the lads takers let us down. But still,
Yeah.
I think if Hornby's playing, we're at least saving a couple of them. He's got to play against Bolton at the weekend. If you ask me.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely give him the chance, man. It's unfair not to. Like you said, if you're not going to play him in any league games, then you got to at least give him the chance in the
That's
cup.
it.
So sweet.
And it's not like we're desperate as well. Not that you'd throw it away, but like the overall morale of the group is more important than winning this game against Bolton.
Maybe.
And I'm not saying Hornby would be disgruntled and start, walking around moping in the dressing room, but even if there's a 5% chance he would, play him.
Yeah.
Keep him happy, keep the overall group happy, keep the buzz going. Because it don't matter anyway if we lose to Bolton.
Yeah, like start Weir instead of
There you go.
Jealous or whatever, you know what I mean? Start Earring instead of
Earring instead of Jealous, or instead of
Comley,
Lakey
I don't
maybe.
even know.
Comley instead of Stirk,
because
Weir instead
who actually
of
really cares about
Allen.
the FA Cup? I know, yeah, obviously a cup's great, but yeah, I really don't care this season. I really just want to hit the league hard and just
That's how
focus
well
on
we're doing
that,
that
yeah.
we don't care about it.
So
Normally
why don't
it would
we
be
just
everything.
give the lads a rest who always start, and if we're looking like we're going to get battered, then bring them on as subs. You know what I mean? Because we've got loads of subs. How many do you get nowadays? 5?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you get 5,
it
don't
must
you?
be 5. Yeah, so
Which is
chilling, you know what I mean? And Sadler's not. Some people are still critiquing the use of subs, but that's more the
I think
tactical,
it's improved a
not
lot.
the timing. I think the timing's still good. I mean, I think the timing's improved now, I suppose.
He's improved a lot. At the weekend,
Yeah.
he only made 2, which I think was disappointing. But overall,
Yeah.
he's making 5 or at least 4,
Yeah.
and he's making them at better times. I mean, it used to be like the biggest pet peeve before. You'd be like, "We're
Yeah,
going nowhere
exactly.
in this game. We need a spark."
Yeah, we
And
need
you'd be like,
something.
so like 85 minutes, and then bring someone on. That was infuriating. That's definitely done. He's a lot more proactive now. So
That's it.
give him credit for that. It's a long old season, but I think we have the right to dream, don't you?
Definitely.
Before we come on to November's fixtures, I just want to touch on one non-football related thing, which is that I'd just like to say I think the matchday experiences have improved as well at the ground by use of the screens that you can order on in the bar area and the QR code things
That makes it
and the
quicker.
outside bar. I feel like they're
The
actually
outside
thinking
bar
ahead.
thing.
These are the kind of stuff. Remember, I used to say for
Yeah,
ages,
I wish
like
they'd- yeah.
they're so backwards. Like, why are they not just like
Using
having
the
something you
space.
can scan and boom, 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 get going?
Yeah.
So now, if you're not ordering alcohol, you can order like straight away on that screen thing. You can use these QR code things. Even if you are having a beer, you can get one from outside way quicker.
Yeah,
The
it's
overall, and obviously with the locker and everything, fair play to Trevella for making the match. That I am enjoying going to games a lot more than I used to. To put it
At
that
the
way.
end of, some people will critique it and say that it's just for money, and at the end of the day, yeah, it's just for money.
I want the club
it
to have more
also
money, though.
makes it easy. It's stuff that makes it easier as the
Consumer.
the consumer. Thank you. But it also generates more money, and it generates more money for them, to make profit, but also for the club to reinvest into. So
Yeah.
how can it possibly be a bad thing? It might be like, it seems a bit corporate, and it might seem like a bit of a money, just a whole money grab, but that's business. You know
But I
what
think
mean?
it's like it's not like there's everything
End
they
of the
do.
day.
I wouldn't criticize. Like
Nah, of course
ticket
not.
prices,
I
for
wouldn't.
example, are
I'm
outrageous
saying
as
what
they
I've
are
heard
with
from other
every.
people.
But I think in terms of this stuff, in terms of the sort
I can't
of
follow.
buying things, I can't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
With the locker, like you say, they might say it's a money spinner, but I mean, I think it's like, I don't get...
What it is.
The alternative is that you spend your money in pubs and that elsewhere, and the club gets no money from that. I'd rather give it to the club.
And that, and places like that. Like,
it's not like the owner of Wetherspoons is like, I care about him having my money more than I do Trevella.
Actually, the only exception is the Independent Sadler Supporters Association.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
that's a fantastic place.
Please, people just go down there more and support that, because that's like literally the only independent kind of.
Obviously, you do what you want to do as well.
to-
A lot of people want to go for a pint in the town and that and all that. Whatever,
Yeah,
it's fine.
do what you're
But
gonna
I'm
do,
saying,
but-
for me personally, I think you should.
From the club's
I think
point
the
of
good
view.
shout is drinking at the ground or at the locker, or if you don't want to do that, go to the Railway Club,
Yeah,
the Independent Saddlers Supporters Association.
Big up them, yeah, because it's a great place.
It's a great place, lovely people there, doing a fantastic job. Loads of fans in there every week,
Yeah,
even on a midweek, and very reasonable prices, if I don't say myself as well.
Brilliant
So I mean,
price.
it's one of them. But at the same time, like I said, even moving away from the locker thing, just look, if you're in the ground at half time and you want a drink or you want a cup of tea or you want some food, it's easier now and it's quicker and you ain't queuing as badly. It's never going to be perfect because that's just football, and you know what I mean? The queues are always mental, but
Yeah.
it's way better than it was before when we had just that inside bar and you had
God.
no sort of interactive ways to do anything. Say
And the
you wanted a
outside.
cup of tea and you didn't even want a pint, you'd be there for half an hour queuing up for one.
Oh God. Yeah.
Outrageous. So yeah, just wanted to touch on that. But anyway,
Yeah, big up.
as we wrap up now, November is going to be a very tasty month indeed. So on this Saturday, November 2nd, we got Bolton at home in the FA Cup first round. Should be a tough game. They're doing okay in the league. They're a bit of a wounded animal because they missed out on the playoffs last year, but ultimately they're a good team with a lot of technical ability, with a good coach, and you'd fancy them if you're a betting man. So for us to win will be an upset.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see how that pans out.
Fingers crossed.
Again, like I said before, I'm not really bothered about cups. I'm always happy when we win, and I want us to win. Obviously, I want us to win, but you know, at the end of the day, I don't really care how it goes. I just want the league to be the main focus, and
That's
where the wins come.
If we win, it'll be a bonus, but if not, on we go. Then a week later, on November the 9th, another Saturday game at home. The Mornflake Massive
Oh, the Mornflake
are coming to town. Our rivals, our greatest rivals. Obviously, we will destroy them.
Destroyed.
I think there should be no doubt about that.
Yeah,
really.
no
I mean,
doubt.
I think they will be genuinely
We
trembling.
need to put them to the sword.
Their players will be like physically shaking on the pitch. I think before
They'll
the
be
game,
trying to
so
run, but they'll just be shaking too
You can't
much.
hide, lads. You can't hide.
You can't hide, man. We're gonna. Oh.
But then this fantastic month does not stop, serving up some brilliant stuff, because then on the Tuesday, the 12th of November, again at home, we've got 4 home games in a row, by the way, which is
home
unbelievable.
games, people.
We've got Shrewsbury at home.
Let's go.
Who
Oh my
I would
God.
argue actually are our rivals, because to be fair, I take the piss out of the Crew thing a little bit personally, because I'm more of a legacy Walsall fan, I suppose you would say. Even Shrewsbury, I'm like,
Shrewsbury's a stretch.
I remember the days when Albion and Birmingham and that were our rivals. So
But
it's a
you
bit
know,
like,
when
you know.
when you're in these bottom leagues, then you can't.
Exactly.
You gotta change it.
It is what it is. So I'm there for the Shrewsbury thing.
Yeah,
we all
yeah.
converted. It's fine. I'm there. And I'm a bit there for Port Vale, I suppose. I think that's even that. I'm like, but whatever. 'Cause like you said, you can't pick and choose, can you?
No.
Crew thing, I think, is just daft. I literally couldn't give a shit. Like if the stadium exploded, I wouldn't even notice. But whatever. But Shrewsbury, you could say in the modern era, this is our Wolves or West Brom, and this is our big game. So they're coming, but it's in my favourite cup, the Football League Trophy. So it might not be as juicy as you'd think, but hopefully there'll be some semblance of a crowd there. And
we're top of the.
I'll be going, that's for sure.
I'll be going, but it's we're top of the league in that group, I think.
Yes, we are, and we will
baby.
probably be top of our own league going into that game. And they, on the other hand, are struggling in League One near the bottom. They're
There you go.
absolute shockers.
They
mate,
might
so.
even go down as we go up.
There you
imagine.
go. Imagine that'd be gutted to be back because
I've won that trip. Yeah.
having a game against them.
Oh, I like that way.
But yeah, I think that should be, like I said, good games coming up then. On the 16th of November, Gillingham at home, which ends our 4 in a row home game run.
Crazy.
They are a decent team, but will be favourites.
Yeah, Definitely a good team.
But then a very tricky away tie the following week on the 23rd of November away against Wimbledon. That won't be an easy place to go.
No,
because of that mad thing they had with the flooding when their pitch turned into a golf course with all bunkers on it and that. They've played like 3 games less than everyone else, so that's why they're like 11th. But in reality, they'll be way up there.
Oh, okay.
If they win their games, they'd be like level with us basically. So,
depending
on how they're going into that, it won't be easy, and it's away, and
yeah, obviously
they're a decent home team. So.
Just get a point or
finish up the month though on the 26th of November at home to Bromley. They are they've just come up from the National League, so you might be thinking, minnows, and they're sort of lower mid-table, but they've picked up some very good results in a very difficult October. They've actually started to turn things around a little bit.
Okay.
And they got this lad Michael Cheek, who's the 2nd top scorer in the league. So that will be a bit of a banana.
You better not give us any cheek.
If he tries to give me any cheek. To be fair, it's good to have someone with a class name as well, because we can give him a lot of cheek.
Yeah.
You cheeky bastard.
That's what I'm saying. We love that. I don't know if anyone else agrees that's listening out there. We love just picking some defenders or strikers, the ones that are next to the crowd.
Have the funniest name
at some point with the funniest name and just absolutely going on.
Just roasting them on corners.
Yeah, and then other people joining. Oh, it's beautiful.
So hopefully you don't get too cheeky, or we'll have to get cheeky with him. But
exactly.
But it's going to be.
It could be tough, but I think that's winnable, definitely.
Oh yeah, it's winnable. Every game for us is winnable. I mean, come on.
Hell yeah.
Who do you think you're talking to?
And that's how we've got to think.
But it's a tough month. 6 games, 4 in League 2, 1 in the FA Cup, 1 in the Football League Trophy. No real easy game from the 6. But the good thing about it is 5 out of 6 at home and 1 away. So it's not going to be the best for my missus in terms of leaving her with my daughter basically every day. But in terms of me
times a week.
In terms of me going to the game, it's going to be absolutely class.
God, yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait.
And I do think we have reason to be optimistic, but like I said, it could be it's one of them months that's quite exciting because there's some rivalries in there's some tough games, but it could end up being a nightmare because you're capable of losing a lot of them as well as we are capable of winning them.
That's it, and then that could just set a little nasty tone on the season, but I don't think it will.
Christmas as well. You don't want to have you need nice season's greetings, don't you?
Yeah.
Before you have that busy Christmas run.
Yeah. Oh God. No, it'll be fine.
Miserable, do you? But I'm optimistic.
That's it, man. I'm definitely optimistic. If it's anything like this month, then I'm happy. Which was kind of mid, but if it's mid, it's mid.
That's the thing when you're up there.
I don't care if we even lose both. If we lose both cup games, which is
there you go.
Which seems pretty bad. We're still going to go through in the Football League Trophy.
Yeah.
And, I don't care about the other one anyway. So I don't care about either of them.
And then we've got the 4 games in the league that really matter.
Yeah, and they really matter, and most of them at home. So, it's going to be be.
I think it's going to be. It's a kind of month that you wanted. I mean, God, years gone by, I'd have been trembling looking at them fixtures.
Yeah,
because the last teams you want to play is like teams you got rivalries with, teams that are decent away from home.
Yeah,
like Wimbledon. And now you just bring it on. So exciting times. But that'll bring us to an end for today. It's been a brilliant October. Well, I think it's been a decent October. Hopefully, a brilliant November.
Yeah, it hasn't been brilliant, but it's been decent.
It's been decent.
Hasn't been bad at all.
So that'll be all for today. Thank you so much for listening to From Poundland to Paradise. Like, subscribe, tell your mates. Stay tuned for some very exciting content to come in a couple of months. So we're hoping before the end of the year we're going to be bringing out something, a few things quite a bit different, and that's going to be ongoing basically. So stay tuned, tell your mates. Let's get them numbers up. You don't need to watch that other one. I don't reckon. I mean, I'm just saying.
We're just saying.
I'm just saying. That other one, I mean,
it's all right. Yeah.
I mean, that original 6. I mean, we did it first.
It ain't it ain't the original source.
You could have been doing that years ago, but you saw us and then you started doing it.
Yes.
But anyway, watch us though. Joe, where can they follow us and tell all their mates about how brilliant we are?
They can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at From Poundland to Paradise.
About Truth Social?
Truth.
Donald Trump's one, are we on that?
Hold on.
Jesus.
I've never
He's still quite a communist. Get us on that Truth Social.
Jesus Christ. Well,
don't worry, lads.
Craig's going to register on in the morning. Don't worry. We'll be up and running on there. And you can follow us on there, whatever that is. But on Twitter also, on Elon Musk's pornographic website. You can find us an anger rage bait. So you can find us at a Walsall FC Pod.
Honestly, though, I wouldn't recommend it, honestly, because if you're trying to go on X, which is aptly named, especially nowadays, you're trying to go on there and just look for a little bit of, safe for work football coverage about your team and just, the amount of just
explicit content
buttholes you're going to be seeing just on the daily without even trying. It's just
mad.
outrageous.
I don't believe it. No,
but that's a story for another podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
Cheers, guys. Peace.